People always say to me, Darius, Scythe, it's your favourite game. And actually it's not. I just don't understand why they might think that it's my favourite. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I see it now. Hello and welcome to All Around the Board. Now you can probably tell from my poorly acted intro that I have got a lot of things for Scythe. Now the YouTube channel that I'm doing has just started off and I thought what better way to start it off and show you everything that I own for Scythe. This video is going to show you absolutely everything, and inside these boxes are some hidden treasures and little additions that I have. I will like to add though that maybe I won't show you everything in Rise of Fenris. Unless you want it. If you do, leave a comment below and I'll do a separate video. So to start us off, we're going to look at the base game of Scythe. This plays 1 to 5 players. Included in the box is one game board, the white faction, the Republic of Polania, the red faction, the Soviet Union, the blue faction, the Nordic Kingdoms, the black faction, the Saxony Empire, the yellow faction, the Crimean Khanate. We have the player pieces for the player colours that you just saw. We have the faction boards to match those player colours. We have the player boards that will be placed with the faction boards, and together you'll put all your pieces out on. We have the encounter tokens, which you'll grab to then get the encounter cards, as you can now see. The encounter cards will allow for little bonuses throughout the game. We have the extra resource tokens for when you run out of resources. We have the mission cards, which are one of your stars that you need to get out. You need to complete one of the missions. We have the combat cards, which are, well, you guessed it, used for the combat. We have the factory cards, which allow players a 5th action during the game. We have the combat wheels, which players will use in secret to alter their power and to put power cards behind. We have the build-in bonus cards, so you get bonus money depending on if you build according to this card. And we have the alternate gaming cards, so the game can end not just by 6 stars, but a variety of different ways. Now we'll have a look at the Invaders from Afar Expansion. This allows for 6 to 7 players to play, and you can play a lower count but include these new factions. So the factions that are included within Invaders from Afar, we have the purple Togawa Shogunate, we have the green Clan Albion, we have the player pieces for these two factions, the faction boards to match those factions, and we have 2 more player boards so that you can play up to 7 players. We have the Wind Gambit expansion next. This includes the airships for all 7 factions. We have the passive and aggressive ship abilities. These can be handed out to each player, or they can have one shared in the middle that all players will follow. We have the Scythe Encounters mini expansion. These are fan-made encounter cards that were officially released by Stoneham Games. We have the Modular Board expansion. This board is double-sided, so you've got many variants. We have the board overlays, so these are double-sided and can be used on any of the empty sections that you see on the board. We have the faction tokens that you can randomly start your factions at different bases. And we have 8 more build-in bonus cards. The official add-ons that I have for this game, I have the plus 50% board, which you'll add to the underside of the game board. I have the neoprene playmat. I have the metal coins. And I have the realistic resources. And some other little additions that I have in the game. I have a 3D printed coin holder. And I have a 3D printed factory. And phew, there we go. That's everything that I have for Scythe. I know there was a lot there, but hopefully you got a good look at all the bits that we have. Now, I don't have everything, but, you know, in time I'll get them all. Except from those metal mechs. Maybe I won't bother with those. So a big question is this game for you? If you're into mediocre combat with a little bit of Euro resource management, then yeah, this game is absolutely for you. If you're looking for something that's a little more war game, then I wouldn't go for this one if I'm totally honest. Now, I do love this game, but the combat is only kind of a minimal thing in this game. Now, I'm going to give my personal opinion on the game and my experiences throughout and why I have so much for this game. The base game, I'm not a fan of on its own. It's a bit plain. There's not really a lot happening. I mean, it's okay, but, you know, it was a 7 out of 10 for me. Then I got the 6 to 7 player expansion, and that was okay. We could play some bigger games. That got a lot more interesting with 7 players, for sure. A lot less room on the board, though. But it was nice to have 2 different factions that were doing very different things to the other factions. We've even got trap tokens now and flag tokens in the Invaders from Afar Expansion. Then we had the Wing Gambit. Now, I think it's a good expansion. A lot of people do not like it. The airships themselves are a little overkill in terms of the minis. They are just representing a mobile ability. So wherever your airship is, something different's going to happen in that hex. But other than that, they don't add too much, but I do find that when you add the Wing Gambit, it actually speeds the game up a little bit. So I do like to include that. And I find that it adds a lot of variety because those passive and aggressive cards that get handed out at random, that'll be different every game. So no 2 games are going to be the same. And the encounter cards, the fan-made ones, I really like those. Some of them are a bit wacky. Some of them are out there and, you know, you've got some big costs for some pretty hefty things. I think one of them is lose X amount of popularity to take an extra turn. There's some silly things in there, but it just adds a bit of flavour to the game. And yeah, I quite like them. And one of the best things that I find has been added to this game is that modular board. I really enjoy that. Now, I've only played a couple of games using the modular board, but wow, it really does change it up. It's nice to neighbour with factions that you wouldn't normally neighbour with. And it's also nice to have, well, not a peninsula on your start. However, that may still happen if it's randomly dealt, but you've got those tiles that are double-sided and you can put them on to your choosing. So yeah, it's a really good addition to the game. And finally, even better than the modular board, is the Rise of Fenris. I absolutely love this expansion. It's the campaign game. It's replayable, but it gives you 11 new modules to play. Now, I won't go into those modules too much because that will give away some of the story and the ways that you can play throughout the campaign. But there is a cooperative module that I really enjoy. There are some extra things that come in this expansion. Again, I won't say too much, but if you guys do want a video, as I said at the beginning of this video, if you want a video and see these Rise of Fenris extras, then I'm happy to do a separate video, but I won't include it in this one because obviously we don't want spoilers. But this campaign game really made Scythe for me. It kind of went from a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. It's really changed the game for me. So, Scythe base game, yeah, get it. But if you're going to get it, get the Wing Gambit and maybe the extra factions. Get the modular board so you've got some variables. But absolutely get the expansion, which is the campaign. Oh, yeah. No, I really enjoy this. I am on my... how many times have I played the campaign now? 6 times? So that just goes to show how much I'm enjoying it. Anyway, that's enough about Scythe. I think I've talked quite a lot about it by now. I want to get on and review some of these other games that I have behind me. But in the meantime, please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook page. Please subscribe to this channel. It will really help support me. And if you've got time, check out my Patreon page. On there, I've got a couple of goals I would potentially like to meet to get better quality videos and potentially a PC that maybe will run a little bit faster when I'm editing. But I don't know if I'm pushing the boat out there. But please, please, please subscribe. That is the main thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave comments below if there's anything you would like me to answer about Scythe or any game, or if there's any videos that you would like to see in the future. Just leave a little comment below. But for now, I will say goodbye, and I'll catch you on the next video.